Yo, YouTube, what is up? Radar 25 back here with my co-host Michael Fuentamania.
What up, Mox?
Guys, we're back in the studio. Wednesday Night Wars. We got 4 takeaways from the shows: AEW Dynamite NXT on USA. We got a lot to get into live from the studio. We have a tease for a match that we've been waiting for a few years now. Are we getting it or are we not getting it? It kind of ended kind of in a weird way. Then the night we have a live musical performance as well, a Broadway musical performance. We have the tournament going on for the AEW World Championship #1 contendership. We have a surprise return in NXT and build up towards next week's Halloween Havoc episode. So we got a lot to get into. 4 takeaways from both shows. But before we do, we got to get into a little bit of business. Down in the description section below are some links. You got the Fight TV, the Honor Club links. Sign up to the Honor Club, Fight TV, watch any pay-per-views you want. Wrestling related, boxing related, MMA related. Watch all that there. You got the Amazon link. Shop through that link. Amazon kicks a little bit back towards the channel. We can help the channel grow, add new things here and there. Highspots.com, another link there. Any memorabilia, merchandise you guys want wrestling related, get it there. Through that link, kicks back to the channel, helps us out. Now, if you're watching this video, you like this video, smash that like button, comment on this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Hit the notification bell so you get alerted when new videos drop. Follow the Instagram, the Twitter. Follow my Twitch for my live streams. Hit us up in the Discord, the channels in the description section below. Hit me up on TikTok, radar_25. TikTok channel is blowing up. So without further ado, guys, with all that out of the way, let's get right into it. Our 4 takeaways from the Wednesday Night Wars, AEW Dynamite and NXT. And we're going to start it off with NXT, where we have 1 takeaway. But NXT started off, interesting way to start the show off, an AEW-esque start to the show. Yeah. And that was a triple threat match to start the night. Kushida going against Tommaso Ciampa and Velveteen Dream. These guys all have an issue from the interference caused by Velveteen Dream in their match at NXT TakeOver 31. So there's a lot going on here. You have Tommaso Ciampa attacking Velveteen Dream on his way out, and the match would happen. Now, this is the most interesting thing about the match. The match was really, really good. It was a really, really good triple threat match. All 3 guys really good. It's like three of the some of the biggest stars on the brand. Interestingly enough, Kushida here gets the win by pinning Tommaso Ciampa. So they continue to build Kushida as like a megastar in NXT on the come up. Next thing we had Ember Moon going against Jessie Camilla, a girl that we don't see that much in Jessie Camilla. Match was what it was. Ember Moon gets the win, but she gets attacked by Dakota Kai after the match. So that's the next feud going forward: Dakota Kai versus Ember Moon, and they will eventually vie for a women's championship match after that as well. As we move on, we had an interesting spot. We had Austin Theory going against Bronson Reed, and Austin Theory's been on a bit of a losing streak.
At least he doesn't want to match it, I think.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think he's like 0-9 or something like that in the recent future. I mean, in the recent past. So yeah, he's taking on Bronson Reed. He loses the match pretty quickly. Then he asks for Bronson Reed to come back because he's not done with him yet, and then he loses again quickly. So that's 2 losses right there in one shot. After
We're at 11 if you're counting.
Yeah, 11 if you're counting, yeah. Now, after this, we would see him in the backstage, Austin Theory going to his car, and he says he quits.
I quit.
So we'll see what happens with that. Austin Theory losing nonstop. Paying his dues at this point in NXT, but we'll see where he goes from here. He says he quits. Let's see what happens. Maybe he comes with a manager now or something like that. We'll see what happens with Austin Theory going forward.
Change it up. And for some reason, I think every time there's a car, it's either a Grand Cherokee or a limo in NXT. I don't know what a white Cherokee. That's their thing. They all use the same car. It's kind of weird, but cool. Crazy park lot out
I'm
there.
pretty sure it's the most commonly rented car there is at rental services, like at Budget and Enterprise. Yeah, exactly. It's the most rented car there is, without a doubt. So next match we had on the show, we had Legado del Fantasma versus Isaiah Swerve Scott, Jake Atlas, and Ashanti Adonis. The match it was a good, solid match. A lot of big spots here. It's just showcasing a lot of the guys in the 205, the cruiserweight division, with Ashanti being a new guy brought in and getting a prominent spot here. But the Legado del Fantasma would win this match. So this feud will continue to see. We'll see how this works out. Does Isaiah Swerve Scott get another title match? Does Ashanti Adonis get a title match? Does Jake Atlas get a title match? We'll see what happens. If any combination of the Legado del Fantasma takes on the other 2 guys in tag team matches, we could see all that go down. But yeah, that was the end of that match. The Gala Fantasma gets the win. After this, we see a video promo for Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae in their apartment that we see like nonstop. You know, we see that apartment nonstop. Yeah.
My God.
Every week we see the same apartment. They're there practicing on a practice wheel because they just spin the wheel, make the deal at Halloween Havoc next week. So they're spinning, seeing, you know, I guess practicing to see their spins, and Johnny Gargano gets buried alive, and then he gets casket match. So he gets upset. You know, what is this? He says, "What is this? We want me dead." A lot of interesting things like that. So we'll see what happens. See what matches they end up getting at Halloween Havoc. So that's interesting enough. Next thing on the show, you had Drake Maverick and Killian Dane versus Everrise. The team of Everrise has been dealing and beefing with Killian Dane and Drake Maverick for a few weeks now. Disqualification finish. Everrise gets the win by disqualification because Drake Maverick uses a chair on both members of Everrise. He snaps. Then Killian Dane is extremely excited by this, and, you know, says, you know, where's this been this whole time? Love it, everything like that. Yeah. So it's you know, it's a tag team that I'm starting to enjoy as we keep going.
And like they're building their chemistry. Killian Dane didn't want to be part of the tag team. Then he was kind of forced into it, and he's been playing that like, I really don't want to be here. But now he's seeing a different side of Maverick that he likes. I'm liking small growth every week with the team. You know, in a couple months, these guys could be tag team champions for all we know.
Yeah, exactly. It could be. I would be surprised. I mean, they're fleshing out the tag team division. Like, newer people are showing up, so bringing Everrise, bringing Everrise in a bit more. So we'll see what happens with all that. Okay. So the next thing on the show, we had Xia Li versus Casey Catanzaro. This is interesting because Xia Li's been, you know, running around with that. I forget what the guy's name that she stands with now.
Aging guy or like security or
some security guy. He handed her some paperwork, and then like I guess they're together, but he wasn't there tonight. Now she dying to have this match against Casey Catanzaro, and she says she has to win. It's important for the match. There's nothing there or whatever. It was short. It was quick. There's nothing there. Catanzaro gets the win. Xia Li snaps after the match, attacks both Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter, but then Raquel Gonzalez gets in there and destroys everybody. Because she's obviously taking on Rhea Ripley, and they just want to have her showcase her strength and everything like that. So we'll see what goes on with this. I mean, I'm not too excited about Xia Li's like, you know, whole thing or where that's going.
It was basically just like, let's just make Raquel Gonzalez look good. Basically, that was the whole point of this match. It was solve anything. The whole point was just to get to the Raquel point. Could have just done that in the backstage or something, but whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is. Next thing on the show, we had. I'm gonna try to not mess this up. Thatch Can, Timothy Thatcher versus Anthony Green in an exhibition match. So Timothy Thatcher's becoming a lot of these vignettes where he's in a ring and he's teaching guys how to, like, you know, technical wrestling, and he's just stretching guys like nonstop. So he's showing this guy Anthony Green some you know, some situations. Grab my leg, he drops him down, puts him in a submission, everything like that. The guy gets really upset at Thatcher, attacks Thatcher. Then Thatcher calls the referee into the ring for an impromptu match. Thatcher destroys him, and Thatcher gets the win, obviously. So I mean, it's a squash, but yeah, it is what it is. I mean, Thatcher's not really doing much. He's just kind of there. He had the thing with Matt Riddle, but after that, you haven't really seen too much of him. He had the match against Finn Balor, but lost that. So, you know, we'll see what they do with Thatcher going forward, but they're continuing this whole, you know, technical wrestling, strong style stuff that he's doing.
What is it? Thatch ass
Thatch can. Thatch ass, Thatch can. That's what it says.
Put that on a shirt in NXT. Put it on a shirt.
They did. It was he was wearing it. He was wearing it in the thing. He's wearing the shirt. Yeah,
you're right.
So let's get to the main event and takeaway number one of the Wednesday Night Wars. Took a while, but it's all about the journey and getting there. Now, before we get takeaway, I want to preface this match. It was supposed to be NXT Championship, Tag Team Championship, Breezango versus Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish. Now, we see throughout the night Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong get attacked by mystery people. They just see them laying and they're hurt and everything like that. William Regal says, you know, Kyle O'Reilly can take the match, but he has to pick a different partner and, you know, go in as them. But he says, no, he's going to go to the hospital. Babyface move. He gives it to Burch and Lorcan in order for them to get the match. The match happens, and we're going to get to takeaway number one here. And you can see behind me right now, Pat McAfee with the new NXT Tag Team Champions, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Now, I am extremely upset that Breezango is no longer your tag team champions. Now,
as am I.
It leads us to believe that Pat McAfee was the one that attacked both members of Undisputed Era.
I mean, it makes the most sense.
And he obviously caused the distraction to cause, these Breezango to lose this match. So now he has beef. Well, now they put him. So before, when he had the match against Adam Cole, he was there with a bunch of former NFL guys, so they weren't really actual professional wrestlers that he couldn't have matches with. Now he has two guys in Lorcan and Birch. You can have six mans with, so you can have six mans against Adam Cole and any members of the Undisputed Era, or Adam Cole and Breezango. So Breezango is not out of the title picture yet, but still, I'm upset that they lost the titles here.
Yeah, I'm upset they lost the title. I feel like they never got the run that they should have, that they deserved. It was kind of short. There wasn't any memorable rivalries. I mean, they did have the match with Liga de Fantasma, but that was like a triple threat. It was weird. It didn't even make sense why they were in there, but whatever. But this is an interesting storyline. We were wondering where the Undisputed Era was going, what their next step was, and here it is. Adam Cole's biggest enemy, Pat McAfee.
It's
the
back.
punter himself.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely an interesting storyline. It's sneaky the way it all happened. The weird mask was really weird. I don't know where they got that from, but whatever, we'll deal with it. But yeah, Birch and Lorcan, tag team champs, never saw that coming. We just thought they were like mid-card jobber guys. But, I mean, congrats to them. I'm excited to see Pat McAfee, more of Pat McAfee. He's definitely entertaining. He did a good job in the ring. He deserves to be around because, he's entertaining. He cut a good promo. He did a great job in the ring. Punters are athletes too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are.
Yep. So I thought it was well done. I'm excited to see where them and the Undisputed Era go, where Adam Cole comes back into the fold. Something I was wondering what they were going to do, and this is a big step. So I'm excited. I know most people probably hated it because they never want to see the non-wrestler wrestle, but whatever. Sometimes you need a little entertainment.
But in saying that, he did shock a lot of people with the performance he put on at NXT Takeover against Adam Cole. So I don't think a lot of people are gonna have too much of an issue with this. I have an issue with it personally, just because I wanted Breezango to stay champions for the rest of my life. But that's not an actual plausible thing to happen. But congratulations to Birch, Lorcan being heel tag team champions, new heel team. So I guess Lorcan and Birch something to do. They get their mouthpiece in Pat McAfee, who's going to get a lot of heat for them, and they can have a numerous amount of combinations of matches going forward against Undisputed Era, Breezango, all that. So, guys, that is takeaway number 1 of the night, and that's the end of NXT. Now we're going to jump over to AEW Dynamite, and as per usual, AEW Dynamite starts off hot. And being that it starts off hot with the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament match, Jungle Boy versus Wardlow. So what we're going to do right now...
What a size difference.
Yeah, what a big size difference. In our takeaway number 2, we're really going to go through all the matches that happened in the Eliminator Tournament. We're going to go through all the matches in the Eliminator Tournament right now, knock them all out as takeaway number 2. Now, the first matchup started off the show, Jungle Boy versus Wardlow. We all know what we're going to get at Jungle Boy. We all know we're going to get a Wardlow. Wardlow is a monster, a powerhouse. Jungle Boy is always the guy fighting from underneath who makes a lot of comebacks, gives a lot of spots where you're like hoping, you think he's going to win, but he tends to not win. So he doesn't win here. Wardlow continues on. This is interesting because of the fact that Wardlow is still with MJF. That may cause a rift if he ends up getting close to the end of this tournament, maybe even winning. He's a dark horse in the tournament. He's a dark horse right here in the tournament, right here, a dark horse.
His size and his power and everything, but there's that looming effect where does MJF really want him to be champion?
Exactly.
Doubt it. So I'm sure this is going to lead to an MJF feud with Wardlow, or something's going to go on here, or maybe nothing happens. I don't know, because he's as we'll talk about later. There's plenty of stuff that he's doing, very interesting stuff. So there's that. But this was a good match. I enjoyed it. Wardlow should have won the match. Supposedly he's undefeated. I think he's like 9-0. They said, or 8-0.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, there he was saying, which whatever. I guess he is. But no, I thought it was a good match. I thought he was a right call on this one because there's more you can do with him. He's the heel. He's the big monster. Whoever he faces next already makes it the storyline inside of another storyline. So I'm digging it.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. He wins the match. He will face the winner of Colt and Hangman Adam Page. We'll get to later on. The next matchup in the Eliminator Tournament for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, and still part of takeaway number 2, is Kenny Omega versus Sonny Kiss. This is the most interesting matchup of this night 1 of the tournament. Now, it was supposed to be Joey Janela, but he had, I believe he came into contact with somebody with COVID, so Sonny Kiss gets the opportunity to take on Kenny Omega in the first round of the tournament. Sonny Kiss is in the ring already. Kenny Omega comes out. with all the pomp and circumstance as the return of the cleaner, Kenny Omega. He is back. And he's in AEW. He has two women dance with brooms, as the cleaner.
As they should.
Yes, he gets
the floor, baby. Woo!
He gets a tremendous entrance where Justin Roberts names 1,000,001 of his accolades. How many times he's broken the Meltzer 5-star rating system? How many times he's got 5-star matches? PWI top 500 wrestler in the world. Sports Illustrated wrestler in the world 2018. Just a massive amount of accomplishments to one of the
Justin Roberts, give it up to him. That was a monster.
Big time.
All of him basically in one breath. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, he got that all out and didn't flub any of his words.
He's so good.
It's a guy to look up to. But yeah, he named every single one of his accomplishments for one of the greatest wrestlers that we've ever seen. So the match is a quick squash match. He hits him with a V-trigger to start off the match. One winged angel who's nobody has kicked out of yet in AEW, similar to how nobody kicked out of it in Japan. Yeah, he gets the win quickly, but full-blown heel Kenny Omega. The cleaner is back and super excited about it. It's probably the most interesting thing in the tournament as of right now, but he is the odds-on favorite as of right now to win this tournament.
I think so too. I was surprised about how short the match was, but I'm guessing it makes sense just because the fact when I stepped back, I was like, you know what? They got to make him look like the monster, and not the monster, but just like they said, with all of his accomplishments, he's one of the best of all time. So we have to make it look that way, and they did a great job of it. Too bad it was for Sonny Kiss was the one that had to do the job, but you got to do the job, kid. It's part of the business.
Yeah, it's part of it. You obviously know who the bigger star is there. It's Kenny Omega, so you got to do what you got to do. Next match in the Eliminator tournament for AEW World Championship number 1 contendership is Penta El Zero M versus Rey Fenix. Brother versus brother here. We all knew this was going to steal the show, be the best match on the show, and it obviously was. This was spot after spot after big spot after big spot. You had, Penta do a corkscrew from in the ring to the outside, spinning in the air like a tornado. Big, just huge moves in this match. But interestingly enough, Phoenix is the one that actually gets the win here. Now, if I was to break down the two of these guys, Phoenix, Penta, the brothers. Phoenix is obviously the more talented high flyer luchador style wrestler, right? He's more akin to a Rey Mysterio. Pentagon Jr. or Penta Zero M, what he's called here, is more of the character. He's got more of the swag, more of the charisma, more of that. So I see him more as an AEW World Champion rather than I do Phoenix.
I believe that too. Going in, I was like, all right, so he's got this. There's no way he's losing to Phoenix. But he did. They had an amazing match. I mean, it was luchador style. It was, all flip-flopping and flying on the plate. JR probably hated it, but it was. I dug it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. Both guys, best match on the card. And there was a lot going on this show. Not saying matches all great, but I'm saying a bunch of crap happened on this show, and that really stood out. So good job on them. We'll see. This is becoming a very interesting bracket. I mean, the bracket is very interesting. There's matches that we've never seen before that are about to happen. I think at the end of the day, we have one more match to talk about, but we can see where the finals are going, where they're going to be, because they've been building the story for a long time.
Yeah. Now, next week is going to be Phoenix versus Kenny Omega, which could be one of the best matches you're going to see the entire year. So stay tuned definitely to that match right there, because that's going to be a top-notch match. Now, the next match... The last match of round 1 to see who would face Wardlow in round 2 next week is Hangman Page versus Colt Cabana of the Dark Order. Yeah. That match was what it was. It went a little bit too long for me. Hangman Page gets the win. The whole Dark Order removes Colt Cabana, helps him leave the ring. But there's issues between Dark Order and Colt Cabana. I just think Dark Order, ever since Mr. Brody Lee lost the TNT Championship, he's just really, the Dark Order itself is just really taking like a fall. I felt like they built him up and made, especially just Brody Lee being the champion, better off. But since he lost it, I feel the whole group just kind of fell down. Yeah.
Well, for me, I mean, when they first came off, and ever since let's say about a year ago, where that guy was fake punching them and it was off by a million miles, they fell flat from them. They were just going around. Nobody really cared about them until Brody Lee got there. Brody Lee added credibility to the group, and you got behind it. Yeah. And then, like you said, he won a TNT championship. We felt like it just wasn't. He didn't have it for long enough. They didn't do a good enough job in building him, making him he was a credible champion. But I just mean the stories and that where they could have gone. They could have really built Brody Lee even bigger and the Dark Order. But instead, they kind of lost their momentum. They fell off a cliff basically, and now we're where we are with this. But Hangman was gonna win this. We all knew he was a favorite. Like I said, Hangman Omega. That's the final for me. I think I'm predicting it now. I just think that's the most obvious choice of who's left with the storyline that they've created. The potential for such a great match, show-stealing type of match, and these two guys are kind of the either or could be next line to be champion. Like they built these two guys to be in this position.
Yeah, I think you're correct on the turnout of what the final will end up being in Kenny versus Hangman. It's the most logical story. They could do Kenny versus Wardlow or Paige versus Phoenix, but I think just the money isn't, because the finals will take full place at Full Gear. So it seems like the biggest match you could put there will be Kenny versus his former partner, his former tag team champion partner in Hangman Adam Page. Now next week's matchups, you got Wardlow going against Hangman Adam Page. You have Kenny Omega going against Phoenix to see who goes on to Full Gear to face each other. So
fun matches. We got fun matches next week.
Big time, yeah. So that's takeaway number 2, guys. A lot going in there. That's majority of the show was built around this whole entire thing. But the next thing we have, well, let's get into one other thing first before we get to the next takeaway. We have announced at Full Gear for the AEW World Championship, it will be an I Quit match between Jon Moxley, the champion, against Eddie Kingston. They referenced the fact that Eddie Kingston isn't really ranked high enough to get this match, but that Moxley was the one who requested the match. So, I mean, to keep continuity going there with the ranking system, they
continuity.
Exactly, continuity. Yeah, they acknowledge the fact that the rankings don't reflect as to where Eddie Kingston is to where he's getting this title match, but he requested it, so we'll see that match happen. I Quit match for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So that being said, let's get into takeaway number 3 of the night. And takeaway number 3 is one of the most interesting things I've seen AEW do in recent memory. Now, last week they had the whole comedy angle with Jericho, MJF. A lot of comedy, played heavy into the comedy, long segment. This one was to set up a dinner date between the two guys to have a steak dinner. Now they have a steak dinner together. The way it starts is they're sitting there, they're not speaking to each other whatsoever. The waitress comes along and they basically have a pissing contest over the way the steak is cooked. So Jericho asked for well done, MJF asked for medium well, then he asked for medium, then he asked for medium rare.
I was way around.
Opposite way around? Yeah, okay, so I'm sorry. Opposite way around. Yeah, you're right. Opposite way.
A real man does a medium rare, right? That's how you do it.
So MJF says for well done, then Jericho says medium well, then they go back and forth all the way down to his rare, like basically uncooked steak. So they do that, then they ended up talking after the fact and what they're doing, like why are they having so many issues with each other, and then surprisingly they break into song and dance.
We start to swing
to the sky.
Our clocks don't chime.
What a surprise.
They ring a ding ding happy.
It becomes a Broadway musical.
Broadway style.
Yeah.
And they did a great job. I mean, I'm not sure if that was MJF, but I knew that was Chris Jericho because he was red as hell afterwards, or like exhausted looking.
Yeah.
But it was funny. I mean, I was like, what the hell is this? But then as it was going, it was well done, well produced. Both guys did a good job. They had the Rockette dancing thing going on. It really didn't make any sense whatsoever, but I dug it. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, now they were singing Me and My Shadow. I believe that's a Frank Sinatra song. And so they're singing that. But I mean, it caught me like super off guard. I didn't expect that to go down. And I was kind of like, what am I watching? But as in terms of performance, it was top notch. I mean, it really was. For me, the restaurant looked super fake until they opened that curtain. Then I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. But it looked like one of those staged WWE restaurants that WWE always uses. It looks like they use it in the backstage. They set up something like that. But yeah, that's what it looked like to me. But then they opened the curtain, did the dancing, all that stuff. It was really well produced, very well performed, from top to bottom. Do I in the sphere of professional wrestling, do I enjoy it? Not that much.
No.
But for what it is, it was very well done, very well produced, all that.
Yeah, I agree. Even my wife, who's a big time show tune Broadway girl, grew up doing the whole Broadway crap. Not crap stuff. But even she was like, what's this? This is actually pretty good. I was like, this is AEW wrestling. That's Chris Jericho doing this. So it was pretty funny. I don't know if it needs to be on a wrestling show, but it worked. I mean, it's Chris Jericho. He could do basically anything and it'll get over. So whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, they did it. We'll see where it goes from here. It seems like they're going to eventually. They're going to have a town hall. They have a town hall, Inner Circle town hall, to see if MJF is going to join Inner Circle. But we'll see that. It's going to be entertaining. We all know that. But that is takeaway number 3 of the night. Next thing on the show, we had Kylan King versus Dr. Britt Baker. And yeah, the star, the mega star of the women's division, Britt Baker, she's back. She had a match. She wins this match pretty quickly, pretty easily. And yeah, that was pretty much it. She's the star of the women's division. She's the one that's going to be the champion, hold the championship for a long time, and carry a division on her back. A division that's lacking, very weak at this moment in time, and not really paid too much attention to. But she'll get that attention. She'll get that spotlight on the division itself. Next thing on the show, we had the main event, Fatal 4-Way #1 contender tag team match. You had Private Party versus the Young Bucks versus the Butcher Blade versus Dark Order's Alex Reynolds, who's number 3, and John Silver, who's number 4 of the Dark Order.
The Bunny's back.
And the Bunny's back. So they did.
I thought she was the Nightmare Family.
Yeah, so she was part of Nightmare Family. And during AEW Dark, what happened was that it was a match between, I believe it was Penta versus QT Marshall. Here comes Eddie Kingston and brings out the Bunny. And the Bunny kind of just plays out QT Marshall. So shout out to QT Marshall. I feel bad for you, brother, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. But all right, so this is gonna be the match. It was a fine match. I don't like these matches because I think it's just too much going on, too many people, and the tagging of the opposite team. It's weird. I never like these matches. But let's get to takeaway number 4, the final takeaway. So takeaway number 4, guys, is the fact that the Young Bucks win this match. They're the #1 contenders for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Will take on FTR at Full Gear. Matt Jackson was able to pin a member of the Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy, I believe it was, pinned him. They got the win there, and then we're getting the match we've been wanting and clamoring for years. FTR, aka or formerly known as the Revival, going against the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick. Now it's interesting. They give us the match, like the match is gonna happen, we think, but they get attacked by a masked Tully Blanchard. You could tell it was Tully Blanchard.
Who is this?
Yeah.
It's like, who else? I mean, he moves like an old man. It's Tully.
Yeah, like what other old man looks like that's gonna get in the ring and do that? And with FTR, you know it's Tully, but whatever. I don't know. The announcers making it seem like they didn't know who it was, but he attacks the Young Bucks. They beat the Young Bucks down. Then they proceed to put Matt's foot or ankle in the chair, hold it, and here comes Cash Wheeler off the top rope, stomping it. So effectively maybe breaking his ankle.
Holding on, they're going to try to break the leg.
Cash Wheeler up on the middle rope.
They're going to try to break the leg of man. No! Oh.
At that point, but we'll see. Did they tease us with the match that we've been waiting for and then end up doing an injury angle after this? I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Good match. A lot of craziness going around, hard to follow at times, whatever. We knew that was going in. The right team won. They've been, we've been talking about this for years, even, for the last 6 months, whatever it's been that FTR has been. In AEW, it's kind of been in the back burner. They've come together, but they've never got it on. So it's just, they've been slow burning this, and maybe they're playing with this even more. Like you said, they broke the leg. Is the match going to happen? Will the Bucks be healthy enough to go in, or they're gonna add a storyline where he's hurt and he can't perform the best, and maybe this is like just adds another element to the story. I thought it was a fun ending. I thought it was a good way to keep FTR heelish, even bigger heels over the Bucks who are going in that heel way. So you don't have the heel versus heel. Not that I thought it mattered that much in this match, because we're just excited to see the match in total. Just the best tag teams of the last decade going, mano a mano. I like the ending. I thought it was good. I'm interested to see where it goes. You can still work a storyline around like the whole leg break or injury, whatever the case may be. Play it in there and keep something rolling into Full Gear.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna happen. If I was a betting man, I think it's gonna happen.
Now, throughout the history of professional wrestling, when they use this spot where they put the body part in between the chair and then jump off the top rope, it usually keeps them out for a while. That's why it's always been one of the most devastating things they do in wrestling. It tends to break bones, damage ligaments, all that stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they could go with the injury angle, or they could just kind of just give us the match that we want, and then that's the end of it. But as of right now, we're getting the match that we've been clamoring for years. It's been in the works for years. Some people thought it couldn't happen because of the separation of the teams in different companies, but they're both in the same company, and the match is, as of right now, is gonna happen. So rejoice that the fact that this match is gonna happen, guys, barring any injury type angle. But guys, that's takeaway number 4. That was the main event of AEW. That is the episode we got for you guys today. 4 takeaways from AEW Dynamite NXT, the Wednesday Night Wars. Appreciate you guys for watching. Remember to smash the like button, share this video, like this video, comment on this video, hit the subscribe, all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys for supporting the channel and watching. Remember, for those Murphy brothers, now do the job.
Later, Mark.